Hello everyone. Today we are doing two podcast topics. The first scenario is academic integrity versus peer pressure. The second one would be group project contribution versus individual work preferences. We'll start with scenario 1. In this scenario, Emma is in a high school where her classmates frequently share answers and cheat on assignments. The teacher is strict but does not notice the cheating because it's done subtly. Emma feels pressure to join in to fit in with her peers, but she is also committed to maintaining her academic integrity. She must decide whether to conform to the cheating culture to avoid conflict or to stand firm against it, which will risk her social acceptance. Now there's the here for the first question, the ethical standards. What ethical standards should Emma uphold in this situation? For the ethical standards that she should uphold in this situation, it would be the utilitarian, the deontological and virtue ethics. For the utilitarian ethics, it focuses on the outcome of consequences of the actions, which aims to maximize the overall happiness and minimize harm. As for the deontological ethics, it emphasizes the duty and rules. Virtue ethics, meanwhile, it focuses on the character and virtues of the person rather than the action itself. They all play a major role in the importance of academic honesty, including the personal integrity and fairness. Considering Emma has a strong commitment to maintaining her academic integrity, she always have to play fair on solving the problems in each task without relying too much on others cheating through the answers. For this scenario, a student's job is to study for future exams and finish up assignments with their own work without relying on cheating. As for the teachers, they are there to teach students which specific lessons they have to do for each course. And they are also paid to do their jobs so that the students will learn what the main purpose of the subjects are. They are not learning if they just get the answers right away from other people. They need to learn what the subject is all about before advancing to new heights for their education. Now, as for the conformity choice, should Emma conform to her peers' cheating practices or refuse to participate? If she chooses to conform, what type of conformity would she do? Which is compliance, internalization, and identification. As for this question, she should not conform to her peers. She has a strong sense of being fair as a student, and should stay that way so that the teachers can respect her honesty. Her honesty. It's a very extremely vital virtue to have, being a student in any school, and even if it can lead to some conflicts with other people, the student can at least stand for his or her own self without others impacting him or her in a negative way. It also shows that the person has his or her beliefs, or he or she stands for without following others. Now, for the type of conformity, if Emma decides to conform by participating in cheating, is it due to a desire for acceptance, which is compliance, a genuine belief that cheating is justified, which is internalization, or a need to fit into the group's norms, which is identification? For this question, the conflict management style for Emma with the cheaters, it would be compromising because the peers they're clearly violating the ways of being a student, sharing answers. Doing this action, it defeats the entire purpose of what school's supposed to be, which is teaching students to learn and have better memories on any subjects they take. Schools are mainly for helping the students test their memories and then help them increase their knowledge on which subjects they need to learn, because in usually in jobs they require you to always remember which each task you need to do, to get done, so that it can avoid problems in the long run. Now, the second scenario. It is group project contribution versus individual work preferences. The scenario here is Alex is assigned to a group project where the group members expect him to take on more than his fair share of the work. The group is tight knit and values teamwork, but Alex prefers working independently and feels overwhelmed by the extra responsibilities. He must decide whether to conform the group's expectations by increasing his contribution or to assert his own preferences, which might lead to conflict with his teammates. Now, for the ethical standards question. What ethical standards should Alex consider in this situation? You have to discuss the importance of fairness and equitable contribution in group work, and how the balancing personal preferences with team expectations impacts the group dynamics. For this, he should consider the ethical standards, which are fairness, responsibility, and respect for the team dynamics. For fairness, it implies that workload should be distributed equitably, and everyone should contribute reasonably. Everyone should play a role in a group work. They cannot just like let the others do all the work, because that means they're not contributing to what the task is at hand, and which makes them a liability, not an asset for the team. Yeah, also they have to balance their personal preferences with team expectations. That is essential to avoiding the conflict and then ensure collective success. Now the second one, the conformity choice. Should Alex conform to the group's expectations by increasing his contribution, or should he assert his preference for less responsibility? If he chooses to conform, what type of conformities would he do? Which are, he could do either compliance, internalization, identification. For this one, if he wants to do this contribution, he might align more with group expectations, demonstrating internalization or compliance. If he wants to maintain a lower contribution, he might have to assert his own individual preferences, which might cause problems for the group relations. So, for him, he likes to be very independent. So he likes to be very independent and do his own work. So, if for the group to work alongside him, he might have to assert his own preferences, and then like his own team expectations, which can help him sync better with the group as a whole. Now, for the type of conformity. If Alex decides to conform by taking on more work, is it because he wants to gain acceptance from his team, which is a compliance? He genuinely believes in the value of teamwork, which is internalization. Or does he want to align with the team's norms, which is identification? If he conforms by taking on more work, the main motivation would be compliance. Would be compliance. seeking accept with internalization or identification. So basically, he has to be all of the above, because the thing is, he likes to do independent work, and it's hard for the team to you like really align with him, since they have very different views. They have very different views and goals overall. So the only way he could be able to blend in well with the group would be they all have to work in like in a specific goal that everyone could benefit from to get the task done. Now, for his conflict management style, which conflict management style would be most effective for Alex, which includes accommodating, competing, collaborating, avoiding compromising. For this one, it would be compromising, which for this scenario he needs to find a middle ground. He also has to collaborate, which is they all have to work together for the beneficial solution, and then to ensure that like the workload issue it's resolved without friction. So everyone they all have to play a role, and like adjust like the right workload, so that it will be fair for everyone, and they don't have to deal with the amount of stress they have to the amount of work they have to put in when it's distributed equally, instead of just letting one person do most of the work unevenly.